This is reading the wood grain, part two, and it's an explanation of why wood grain is important in woodworking and why it's important to understand it in terms of having successful products that last a long time, and whether the changes in relative humidity that cause wood to expand and contract. So first of all, I have a piece of wood that's cut off from a wide board, and this is just a short piece, but you can see that the wood grain runs relatively this direction. And wood is relatively stable in terms of its length. It doesn't change in length. But now this is looking at it on the end grain, and you can see the end grain is different from the side grain. In this case, you can see all the annual rings. And they run through the wood like that. And here you also see the medullary rays, which are part of oak, and form beautiful patterns on the surface of the wood when it's quarter sawn. So wood expands and contracts across its width. And it does so in response to changes in relative humidity. So for example, if I make a box in summertime Arkansas and I send it to Arizona where it's extremely dry, and the thing that I would expect would be that the wood that I made the box from would shrink in dimension this way. Or the other way, if I were to make something in Arizona and then I would send it to Arkansas, it would expand and it might push the joints apart. So it's very important for woodworkers to take into consideration the direction of the grain and what it will do as it will inevitably expand and contract. You can put all kinds of finishes on it to try to seal it so that would never happen. But in any case, that doesn't really work. The forces of nature are forces of nature. They are irresistible. Now, as another example, I have a piece of firewood here, and you can see the annual rings are rotating around through it like that. And you'll very rarely see a piece of firewood that doesn't have these cracks in the ends of it. And the cracks in the end of it come from the fact that the rate of expansion and contraction along the annual rings like this is a different rate of expansion than going this way from the center of the tree outwards. This is called tangential. This is radial, or I may have those backwards. This might be radial and this might be tangential. But in any case, to understand that they are different, will, regardless of the terminology, will help you understand why cracks form. So you very rarely find wood that doesn't crack at some point in its drying, and all of these little hairline cracks here are caused by the shrinkage of the wood. So take your time, study the wood, learn what it's going to do, expect it to move, and you'll have better results.